They fired a barrage of intercontinental hypersonic ballistic missiles into Jerusalem, the city that they're claiming to be protecting, that they're supposed to be liberating. If people compare how Ukrainian Ashkenazi Jews or Russian Ashkenazi Jews, they come from thousands of kilometers away. Same exact, Habibi. These guys come from thousands of kilometers away, trying to impose on us a religion and a culture and a language and violence from a totally different universe. It is nearly 2025, and the Houthis still want this heat. Ladies and gentlemen, I know I look a little worse for wear, and I know I sound not so good. I am a little under the weather. I have a double ear infection that had me in the hospital the other day with a lot of pain, and now I'm developing some sort of virus or cold. But the grind never stops. It's almost the end of the year. I got to cash in on that high YouTube CPM for December, because after that, I'm not going to be making any money for about 6 months. So all jokes aside, we're going to be talking about the Houthis today. And for those of you guys who are real ones who really love me, there'll be a little message in the middle of this video, a message of thanks and a Happy New Year message. Feel free to skip it if you don't want to listen to it. But I do want to talk about what's been going on with the Houthis. My screen was a little paused there for a second. So the Houthis have been firing rockets. Warning, there's going to be a sound of sirens here in the video, so just keep that in mind. The Houthis have been firing rockets at Israel, specifically at Tel Aviv, for about 2 weeks now nonstop. It's been almost every single night. I've been actually hiring an intern for this YouTube channel to help me run the YouTube channel, other social media that I do. And even during one of the interviews I actually had with one of my interns, I had to run to a bomb shelter because the Houthis fired a rocket in the middle. It was like 1 or 2 p.m.
In Tel Aviv, people told to take shelter. Israel says it shot down a ballistic missile before it entered its airspace. Military operation was launched against Israel, this spokesperson for Yemen's Houthi rebels says, claiming it was an attempt to hit Tel Aviv's Ben Gurion airport.
So here's the thing. It's been a tit for tat. Well, not really a tit for tat. The Houthis have just decided to attack Israel all willy-nilly. Literally, it doesn't make any sense. They've not only have they attacked Israel, though, they've attacked Iran, they've attacked Russia, they've attacked China, and every other ship that crosses through the Red Sea near their area. But now they've been, since the ceasefire has taken place with Hezbollah, they're the next proxy of the IRGC of Iran that has decided we're going to get in on the fight in a more intense level. And I don't know, I guess they want the ship bombed out of them. I'm not really sure exactly what the end goal is here. This guy is the Houthi spokesperson. I want to make it very clear. Yes, they are dangerous, and yes, they are launching intercontinental ballistic missiles, hypersonic ballistic missiles at civilians like me. One of the rockets exploded 5 minutes from my house the other day, and also I'm being woken up 3-4 a.m. almost every single night to run into a bomb shelter because these savages, these crazy people, are firing rockets. So yes, they are dangerous, and it's not a joke. But that being said, we here in Israel do find it very, very funny. And we joke around about the Houthis all the time. I mean, now in casual conversation, it has become normal to just see your friend and go, Houthi, Houthim? I call my mom sometimes, I just go, Houthim. I have WhatsApp stickers, we just send Houthim. My mom will check in on me 4 a.m. She'll be like, hey, Tal, I got rocket sirens on my phone. My mom lives in America. Are you okay? And I won't even reply with any words. I'll just send her a sticker of Houthim, just a Houthi sticker. And it's usually a picture of the spokesperson. So just so you guys know, yes, they are dangerous, and it is not a joke, but we here in Israel find these people very, very funny because out of all the proxies of the Islamic regime of Iran, this is by far the dumbest and least organized, they're very, very, very stupid.
Houthis say the attack is retaliation for Israeli airstrikes in Yemen's capital city Sana'a on Thursday, which killed at least 6. The strikes destroyed a control tower and shattered windows at Sana'a's airport. Friday, thousands of Yemenis rallied in support of the Palestinian people. This as Israel continues its attempts to weaken the so-called axis of resistance.
By the way, just so you guys see, for anybody, if you've ever had any friends in this war that have supported the Houthis and Hamas and the Islamic regime of Iran and its different proxies, that sign right there says God is the greatest. It says Allahu Akbar, death to America, death to Israel, curse on the Jews, victory to Islam. That's the slogan of the Houthis. This is the Houthi flag right back here. This white, green, and red flag. The white signifies one of the Islamic caliphates. The green signifies one of the Islamic caliphates, and the red signifies one of the Islamic caliphates. If you wanted like a full representation of colonizers, full representation of a colonizer, it's this. Like, there is no more colonizer than this. For all the claims that Israel's gotten for white colonizer this, genocidal that, if you're looking for proof, wow, my head. If you're looking for clear proof of genocidal colonizer intent, it is this. These people are not native to the Levant. They are not native to the land of Israel. Their religion, their culture, their language has nothing to do with Palestine or with Israel. I mean, they are very, very, very far removed. If people compare how Ukrainian Ashkenazi Jews or Russian Ashkenazi Jews, they come from thousands of kilometers away. Same exact shit, Habibi. These guys come from thousands of kilometers away. They are nowhere near us, trying to impose on us a religion and a culture and a language and violence from a totally different universe. Just keep that in mind. If you want to talk about genocidal intent and colonization, this is it.
This as Israel continues its attempts to weaken the so-called Axis of Resistance, an informal network of militia in the Middle East against Israeli and
what a
American
strange
influence
country.
and supported by Iran.
What a terrible, this seems like a terrible place to be, honestly. Yemen seems just like a horrible place to be.
Over the past 15 months, has seen an opportunity.
This Middle East geopolitics expert says that opportunity is for Israel to attack the Houthis, Hezbollah in Lebanon, and now to make grounds in Syria.
They weren't responsible for the fall of Bashar al-Assad's regime, but they saw an opportunity once that regime had fallen to invade more Syrian territory.
Clean up shop.
But Syria's new government has said they don't want to antagonize Israel. Meanwhile, Israel continues fighting Hamas in Gaza nearly 15 months after the October 7th attacks. Families in Gaza mourn over loss.
Okay, I'm going to skip these just in case we get demonetized. You guys got the main gist of the story here. I'm going to read this article that's pretty interesting, and then we'll do a little bit of analysis on the current situation that's going on with the Houthis and with the Islamic regime of Iran. I will say right now, before we get into this article, I think that we are now less than 4 weeks away from Trump taking the presidency. And I think that we're going to see a very, 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 very different Middle East, very different America, a very different world come January 6th. Come January 20th when Trump takes the presidency. I think if I had to predict, I think we're going to see a lot of these proxies calm the fuck down. They are going to relax because they are terrified of Trump's unhingedness. And I think that they don't know what to expect, especially when Trump has he's forewarned a few times now that if they keep pressing, if they keep doing this stuff, he's going to go in on them. And they have not calmed down. But I'm thinking basically what they're trying to do right now is get all their terrorism in before January 20th, before the transition to power. They're going to try to get all their terrorism in, and then that's when they're going to go for it. That's when they're going to calm down. They're going to beg for mercy. They're going to say, oh, America's attacking us. Oh, we're refugees. Oh, we're this. Oh, we're that. They're just going to like attack. And when America hits back, they're going to immediately cry wolf. UN's going to sanction. UN's going to say, you can't do this, you can't do that, and then it'll all be over. And we'll repeat this cycle again in 20 years. That's what I predict. Maybe even less than 20 years. Who knows? Houthi strikes on Israel are just practice for the real thing. This is an article from Ynet News, an Israeli-based news syndicate. Analysis: if a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas is agreed, which has been on the table for a while now, the 50,000 to 100,000 armed Houthi fighters will go for their ultimate goal, control of all Yemen, families of leaders flown to Iraq for safety. If you guys don't know, the Houthis don't technically control all of Yemen. They technically control just the northwest part of Yemen, okay? And they control the capital city, basically, pretty much the most important part of the country. They're fully in control of that area, but not the entire country. That being said, the rest of the government, similar to Lebanon, the rest of the government doesn't have control over the nation. So it's not like, it's not like there's an alternative, like you can really escape the Houthis. Like it's either you live in the main commerce zone or you live out in the middle of nowhere and you don't really have any support. It is literally one of the worst from the perspective of life expectancy, from the perspective of everything. It's got one of the worst ratings of any nation in Asia. It's the poorest country in the Middle East, to my knowledge. It's the poorest Arab country in the world. I think it is the poorest Muslim country in the world. I mean, outranked by Pakistan. You've got to go a far way to be a shittier country than Pakistan. And this, by the way, for anybody who thinks I got a beef with Pakistan because I'm Indian, I'm not Indian. I'm an Iraqi Jew. I've got nothing to do with Pakistan. I've seen how terrible Pakistan is as a country in the last year. They've proven it to me. This country's terrible. So to be worse than Pakistan, you really got to be shitty. And that's Yemen. So that's all I got to say about that one. Let's be clear, there's not enough intelligence on the Houthi rebels in Yemen or on the country. The geographical distance of over 2,000 kilometers over the Red Sea and the lack of previous anti-Israel activity has not compelled the Israeli intelligence service to study this adversary because they were never an adversary. We've never had any beef with Yemen. They've never been anything to us. All they've ever been is just some random nation that Jews had to flee from because of Islamic persecution. But it's like we don't have any beef with them. It's the same as we don't have really beef with Oman. We don't have beef with Algeria or Tunisia. I mean, they take an anti-Israel sentiment, but we've never had a war with them. At least not an open one. Now the Houthi leader Abdul Malik al-Houthi, which is hilarious that his last name is Houthi, and the group spokesperson Yahya Qasim Sari'e make it clear that as long as the war in Gaza continues, the Houthis are all in the fight against Israel. Houthi activists write endless posts on social media. And one, a member of the rebel group announces that the attacks on Jaffa, Never Tel Aviv or Ramat Gan, are but a prelude to the real attack on the city of Dimona. Workers in the nuclear reactor prepare, he writes. By the way, on Shabbat, the Houthis fired rockets at Jerusalem. So this whole idea of them trying to free Al-Aqsa and they fired rockets at the old city of Jerusalem. It doesn't make any sense. This was just one day ago, on Saturday, on Shabbat. While Jews were resting on their one rest day, they fired a barrage of intercontinental hypersonic ballistic missiles into Jerusalem, the city that they're claiming to be protecting, that they're supposed to be liberating. And Hamas, by the way, did the same exact thing. They fired rockets at Jerusalem. The Hamas that, by the way, everybody's crying that there's no water in Palestine, there's no electricity, everybody's dying, it's a genocide. They still have enough resources to fire rockets at Israel. So for all the, I don't think that Holocaust survivors in concentration camps ever had the resources to fire rockets at the Nazis. I don't believe that ever happened for those people who are wondering how that went down. But the real problem is elsewhere, in Tehran and with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps. This is where the orders are originating from and where the weapons are being sent. For now, Israel has not decided on any decisive action against Iran. I think, if you want my analysis, Israel has definitely decided on a decisive action against Iran. It's just waiting because its hands are tied under the Biden administration. Once Trump takes power, I think there's going to be a very small period, a very small grace period of, all right, are you done? Give commands to all the terrorist groups to halt, release the hostages, we'll make some sort of deal, and it's over, and step away. Because Trump, I think, really wants to feed his base of anti-intervention. I think he's very interested in not getting into a full-on war. But I think there's going to be a very small window of opportunity. And I think Iran is panicking, and Israel knows this. Israel knows that if it strikes right now, it's just, there's no point. It doesn't have the support, and we don't want to start a war where we have like a 2-week period or a 3-week period where you don't really know what's going to happen. I think that they're going to choose to do this when Trump is in power, and we might actually see the fall of the IRGC, of the Islamic regime of Iran. Now, that being said, these commands to attack Israel, the Houthis operate on their own, yes, but they're definitely operating under the command of Khomeini and the Islamic regime of Iran. The Islamic regime of Iran has run out of proxies. Hezbollah is incapacitated. Hamas is incapacitated. They cannot really fight. Syria, incapacitated. All of Hezbollah in Syria is incapacitated. They're left with Iraq and they're left with Yemen. Those are the two proxies left. Now, the Iraqi militias, I think, they're very much tied to the Syrian ones, and they've never had so much resolve. They've never been so ready to attack. What you do have with Yemen, you have a situation here where they're able to take commands immediately, and they have an open and free-flowing way to ship weapons and missiles to them and money to them. So you're looking at literally their last proxy force before they go on the offense themselves, and they won't do that because they're a bunch of Bunch of scared mother effers, as they say. So the rebels are a different breed of Yemeni citizens. They act independently, and their attacks on Israel appear to be the practice drills for bigger and more impressive targets. The wives of the Houthi leaders have left quietly on board an Iraqi jet disguised as a civilian flight, taking them away from danger. Al-Houthi and his brother chose to send their families away for safety. It is unclear for how long, but the responsibility lies in the hands of Iraq Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani, who is a supporter of the Iranian regime. Honestly, I did not know that the Iraqi Prime Minister's name was Mohammed Shia al-Sudani. The fact that his last name is Sudani is crazy. This is the man responsible of the country that ethnically cleansed my people from it, the Iraqi Jews, my grandparents, and my current grandma, who's being targeted by these Houthi missiles. My grandma is a refugee from Iraq with dementia, bedridden, 85 years old. Neither me or my family have enough money to move her to a different facility to get her the help that she needs. So she's stuck on the 4th floor of an apartment with no elevator. She's got no bomb shelter, no access to a bomb shelter. So every single day when these Houthis, who have no beef with my grandma, fire rockets at my grandmother, who is a refugee, who's never killed anybody in her life, never served in the army. She just had to flee Iraq because of anti-Semitism. Okay? This man, who's in charge of that same nation, is now taking in the families of the people who are firing rockets. Tell me the justice. Where is the UN to stand up for my grandma? Where is the UN to stand up for me? I never served in the army. I never served in the IDF. I've never killed anybody. I'm a journalist. I'll cry this shit till the day I die. I obviously don't believe in what I'm saying right now, but I'm playing the argument. I'm playing the game. Where are my protections as a human rights activist, as a journalist? Why does every Gazan journalist have more rights than I do? Why are the Houthis and the Islamic regime of Iran and Iraq and the Iraqi prime minister and the UN not fighting for my rights as well? Maybe it's because I'm a Jew. No. I'm an Arab, no? Am I not an Arab just like the rest of you? Where the fuck are my rights? Where are my rights? Why does my life not matter in the eyes of these terrible, disgusting people? And this is why when they say go back to Iraq, go back to Yemen, go back, fuck you, I'll never go back to live under Arab world. Never in my life will I ever go live under Arabs again. Ever, because this is how Arabs treat my people. This is how the Arabs have treated us. Maybe the Arabs in the Gulf, in the Khalij and the Hijaz are a little bit different. And I can see a world changing where we could coexist. But these Arabs, the Levantine Arabs, the Mesopotamian Arabs, the Arabized people of this region, hell no, I will never go live under you again. Ever. I don't want to live under Islam. I don't want to live under Arabism. This is supremacy. There's no human rights. There's no protection for people like me. Nobody cares if my skin is brown. I get called a colonizer all day. Screw you guys. Screw you, Mohammed Shia al-Sudani. Screw you. Where's the justice for my grandmother? Where is it? It doesn't exist. I'm not seeing it anywhere. I don't see it anywhere. I don't hear it anywhere. Now, here's something I want to add right now, okay? I want to add this right now, this point. And this is just a little thank you message for everybody who's been listening. You can feel free to skip a few seconds forward. It's almost 2025. It's December 29th right now. When this is going out, probably December 29th. I have to say, it's been almost a year since I started this journey of Israel advocacy. January 25th will be like the first video I started promoting as a full-on Israel advocate when I came back and shifted my YouTube channel. The numbers and the growth has been crazy. We've gained I think 25,000 subscribers in the last year, which for me was massive because my channel was pretty much stagnant for a while. I didn't think that I was ever going to see getting close to 300,000 subscribers, and it looks like we're actually going to hit it in 2025. I mean, we're inching closer and closer. We're getting really close to 270,000 subs, which is nuts. We may have already surpassed it by the time this video goes up. But I'm actually so touched and so appreciative of all your sweet messages and your support in the last year. I've been really sick this last week, and I came on to let you guys know I was in the ambulance in the hospital. I had this ear infection. People send me money. I mean, hundreds of dollars. I don't have my mom to take care of me. I don't have a wife. I live alone with a roommate, and we're both men. So I think the capacity to take care of each other when you're sick is kind of limited. So, having you guys send me money to be able to buy soups and get dumplings taken out to eat and take care of myself, it's something I really, really appreciate. And I know that the world is crazy and that this fight seems like it's an endless fight, but I promise you guys on the horizon, like I said, I'm hiring an intern to try to level up, to try to get to the next place. And for all of those of you guys who are either your passive viewers, you've just come onto the channel recently because of this new format of video that I've been doing, I have so many plans. For those of you who have been watching me for 10 years, there's some of you. This YouTube channel has existed for 10 years. I've been traveling around the world for 10 years. Right now, we've had this period where I've been in Israel for just 1 year. But trust me when I say the videos and the content and everything that I do, it's not limited to just this. And if I can speak to you guys frankly, I looked over my finances in the last year. I didn't make any money for 1 whole year. I mean, I left, I think I made $20,000 in ad revenue on YouTube. All of it was spent on the channel. I ended up losing, I think, $5,000 in my total savings this year. So I didn't make a penny from the content. So that's how you guys know my resolve is really true and really is pure. I survive purely off the goodness of your donations and purely off the goodness of you guys becoming my patrons, sending money on PayPal, sending money on Buy Me a Coffee. That is the only way I can continue to do what I do. And again, I am deeply, deeply, deeply appreciative of every single one of you who decide to join my channel, to join my community, to be a part of me in my life and help me continue to do this. The plans that I have, where I'm taking this next, it's going to blow your mind. I am going to change the world. I promise you guys. And I know I feel maybe a little sick and weak right now and have to keep blowing my nose. And I'm sorry about that. That's how you guys know how dedicated I am. Because even when I'm super sick, I'm coming on here to talk to you. I'm going to change the world. This content is going to change the world. Gone are the days where a passive Mizrahi Jew like me is going to hide his story. And if it means we need to travel the world to start doing it, hell, I'll do it again. I don't mind. I'm willing to do what it takes. So if you believe in me, partner with me. Become a part of my community. And even it doesn't mean you have to give anything financial. It just means be a part of this. Help me out. Drop a comment. Leave a like. Share my videos with people you believe in. Believe in me so I can keep going because it's the only way that I can keep doing what I'm doing. And again, I am eternally, eternally grateful to you guys for everything you've done for me in the last year, for the belief in me, for the worrying about me when I'm not feeling good, when I'm going out, when rockets are being fired at me, the messages in the middle of the night that you guys send me on Instagram DMs, the outpouring of love. I'm so appreciative of this community. It does not go by the wayside, and I'm so grateful to each and every single one of you guys. Thank you so much. God bless each and every single one of you. And may you all have, while I don't necessarily celebrate this year, I don't celebrate the New Year's, I celebrate the Jewish New Year. I wish every single one of you guys who are celebrating a happy New Year. I wish you nothing but the best. I hope your 2025 is amazing for every single one of you and for all of us here on planet Earth. I hope this is the year where we reach world peace, where we can make it happen, peace in the Middle East, coexistence. I hope it's actually the year where we can make it happen. And trust me, if it's not, I'm here locked in the fight. I'm with you guys. If you guys are with me, I'm with you guys. So thank you so much again, and I wish everybody watching this nothing but the best. All right, that's a little personal message from the clat. Let's get back into the video. I love how we had just the picture of the Iraqi prime minister up the entire time I was sending that nice message. Almost at the same time that the families were flown out of Yemen, a special plane belonging to the World Health Organization left Sa'ana to Jordan, which was also kind of strange that the day that Israel was attacking the airport in Sa'ana, the WHO chief, Tedros Ghebreyesus, whatever the fuck his name is, the guy who shut down the world during COVID, was there at the airport. And a member of the organization was wounded in an Israeli strike on the airport. The Houthi leader like Yahya Sinwar of Hamas and Hassan Nasrallah of Hezbollah has been leading this terror group from an underground tunnel, although he is long distance. So again, I want to clarify. If you guys don't remember who Tedros is, I'll put up a picture. Very odd to me that he was in Yemen right now while they're firing rockets at Israel. Like, don't you guys think that's a little bit strange? Just considering how much the UN has been involved in the proxies of the Islamic State, Islamic regime of Iran, consider UNIFIL, consider UNRWA, how deeply entrenched and involved the UN has been with Hezbollah and with Hamas. Now with the Houthis as well, what the hell is Tedros doing in Yemen while they're firing rockets at Israel? What is he doing there? No explanation will be good enough for me. No explanation will be good enough for me. Listen, that's really all I want to go over. I like these kinds of articles that are kind of a little bit more speculative. It's always interesting to me to dawn on what could potentially happen. The reality is we don't know what's coming for us in 2025, but it's exciting. Obviously terrible. The main thing that we all want to see out of this, especially us in Israel, is a return of the hostages. And we're hoping that this 2025 is what will at least begin the process of bringing them back home. There is some horrible news coming out about the hostages. I don't want to report on them here because this video will surely get demonetized if I do, but there's some really terrible news coming out about the state of the hostages and the things that they've been through. And I'm hoping to God, I pray every single day that when Trump takes power, there'll be a serious effort to get him back home. Because what the U.S. administration has done in the last year has been disgusting in consideration of the hostages. And considering that there are American hostages there and international hostages, we're hoping to God that when Trump takes power, something actually starts moving in the right direction. And the world hopefully will stop gaslighting Israel, making us seem like we're committing a genocide while trying to rescue our people. I love you all so much. Thank you all. Have a happy new year. I'll see you guys probably at the turn of the new year. And I'll see you guys in the next one. I love you long time. Goodbye, Klats.
If you believe in my content and want to support me, just know your help is needed. There's a bunch of great ways to monetarily support the channel. Some of the best ways to support me happen to be PayPal, buy me a coffee, or joining our Patreon community. Links to them can be found in the pinned comments or the description of every one of my videos. Joining my Patreon community gives you access to exclusive content and the chance to talk to me on our Discord server. I also go live almost every day here on YouTube. And after my live streams, me and my patrons from Patreon head over to our Discord server to an exclusive after-party hangout. Your support is the only way that I can keep creating the content that you love watching for me. Thank you.